Commander Alina Blackwood stood at the window of her underground command center, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing Earth's seemingly primitive satellite network. To the rest of the galaxy, these satellites appeared to be nothing more than basic communication relays and weather monitoring systems. They couldn't have been more wrong. "Dr. Harrison, status report," she called out, her voice steady despite the alert that had just flashed across her neural interface. The brilliant quantum physicist looked up from his workstation, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of his displays. The quantum detection grid just picked up multiple fold space ruptures at the edge of the Kuiper belt, James Harrison replied, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "They're trying to be subtle, but our gravity wave detectors are picking up their drive signatures clear as day." Alina allowed herself a small smile. For 50 years, humanity had maintained the greatest deception in galactic history. While the rest of the galaxy saw Earth as a barely space-capable civilization, still arguing about social media and reality TV, the truth lay buried in underground facilities across the planet. The Sentinel Initiative, started in 1947 after the Roswell incident, had been humanity's best-kept secret. Not a crashed alien ship as the public believed, but first contact with a friendly species that warned humanity about what lay among the stars. Since then, Earth had been preparing. "Lieutenant Commander Reeves, bring Operation Chimera online," Alina ordered. Around the command center, hundreds of screens lit up with green status indicators as humanity's hidden defense network began powering up. The satellites that appeared primitive to alien observers started shedding their carefully crafted disguises. "Ma'am," called out Captain Marcus Chen from his tactical station, "we're detecting 27 capital ships and approximately 200 support vessels. Configuration matches hegemony warships." He paused, checking another reading. "They're maintaining formation at the edge of the system. Looks like they're preparing for a standard subjugation approach." Alina exchanged knowing looks with Dr. Harrison. The hegemony, like most advanced alien civilizations, followed a predictable pattern when conquering primitive worlds. They would position their fleet in an overwhelming display of force, demand surrender, and expect the natives to bow before their superior technology. "Time to show them why we've been playing possum," Alina said, activating the global command network. Across the planet, similar underground facilities hummed to life. In orbital stations disguised as debris, crews manned battle stations that shouldn't have existed. From the depths of the oceans, submarines that carried more than just nuclear weapons prepared to surface. "Dr. Harrison, initiate quantum entanglement protocols," Alina commanded. "Captain Chen, begin dispersing nanite clouds according to defense pattern Omega. Lieutenant Commander Reeves, activate the gravity well generators." The command center erupted into controlled activity. Humanity's true technological capabilities, hidden for decades behind a carefully constructed facade of reality shows and social media arguments, were about to be revealed. "Message from the Hegemony Fleet," announced Communications Officer Patel. "They're demanding our immediate surrender and submission to their authority, standard first contact subjugation package." Alina straightened her uniform, a predatory smile playing across her lips. "Send them our prepared response package. Let's see how they handle finding out they've just walked into humanity's kill box." As the message transmitted, the first layer of Earth's defenses activated. Quantum-locked satellites began generating overlapping fields that would turn the aliens' advanced faster-than-light drives against them. Nanite clouds, invisible to standard sensors, positioned themselves to infiltrate and corrupt alien computer systems. "Ma'am," Captain Chen called out, "we're detecting power spikes in the Hegemony Fleet. They're charging weapons." "Right on schedule," Alina nodded. "They always shoot first when the primitives don't immediately surrender. Dr. Harrison, you may proceed with Phase 1. James Harrison's fingers flew across his console, initiating sequences that had been refined and perfected over decades of preparation. Quantum field generators online, probability matrices aligned, reality anchors holding steady. The first alien shots would fire soon, and when they did, The hegemony would learn why humans had spent so much time watching science fiction. Because while they were laughing at humanity's apparently primitive entertainment, they had missed something crucial. Humans hadn't been writing fiction, they'd been drawing up blueprints. "All stations report ready," Lieutenant Commander Reeves announced. "Operation Chimera is fully operational." Alina Blackwood took her command seat, watching as the alien fleet moved into attack position. 50 years of preparation were about to pay off. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Execute primary defense protocol, Kraken Rising." Across the solar system, humanity's hidden technology began to wake up. The galaxy was about to learn that they hadn't been watching Earth's development, they'd been watching its dress rehearsal. High Admiral Vexther of the Hegemony Fleet stared at the holographic display of the primitive planet before him, his secondary hearts beating with anticipated victory. The blue world looked defenseless, its orbital space cluttered with what his sensors identified as primitive satellites and space debris. This would be an easy conquest, another jewel in the hegemony's crown. "High Admiral," his second-in-command, Sub-Commander Nyxus, called out. "We're detecting unusual energy fluctuations from the planet's satellites. Probably their primitive communication systems overloading from our presence," Vexther dismissed with a wave of his upper appendage. "Proceed with the standard subjugation protocol." On Earth, Commander Blackwood watched the alien fleet's movements with calculated patience. "Status of the quantum net, Dr. Harrison." "Fully operational. Their sensors are seeing exactly what we want them to see." Harrison's eyes gleamed with scientific satisfaction. "The probability matrices are already affecting their targeting systems. They just don't know it yet." The first shot from the Hegemony fleet came exactly as predicted. A warning blast aimed at one of Earth's larger communications satellites. The beam of concentrated plasma streaked across space, its trajectory perfect according to their targeting computers. It missed. Not by much, just a few meters, but enough to make Sub-Commander Nyxus blink all four of her eyes in confusion. "High Admiral, the shot." It deviated from its projected path. "Impossible," Vexther snapped. "Our targeting systems are precise to the quantum level. Fire again." In the Earth Command Center, Captain Chen's tactical display lit up with new data. "They're preparing a full barrage, Commander. Multiple weapons platforms charging." "Perfect," Alina smiled. "Dr. Harrison, initiate Phase 2. Lieutenant Commander Reeves, deploy the mirror drones." Across Earth's orbit, thousands of seemingly innocent pieces of space debris suddenly activated. Each one contained a quantum-entangled particle pair, linked to a master control system deep beneath the Antarctic ice. As the Hegemony fleet opened fire, these particles began to dance. The alien barrage, enough firepower to level a continent, scattered in impossible ways. Plasma beams bent around their targets. Particle weapons dispersed harmlessly into space. Gravity lances somehow ended up hitting nothing but empty vacuum. "Impossible," Vexther roared, slamming his command console. "This primitive species can't have this level of defensive capability." "Sir," Nyxus interrupted, her voice trembling. "We're detecting. Something is happening to our shield generators." Throughout the Hegemony fleet, carefully maintained energy shields began to flicker and fail. The nanite clouds, invisible to their sensors, had infiltrated their systems, rewriting protection protocols from the inside out. "Now," Alina commanded, "show them our teeth." Earth's response was devastating in its precision. The satellites that had appeared primitive transformed, revealing weapon systems that shouldn't have existed for centuries by galactic standards. Quantum-locked beams sliced through the suddenly vulnerable alien ships with surgical accuracy, not to destroy, but to disable. "Message from Earth," Nyxus announced, her voice filled with disbelief. They're offering us a chance to surrender." Vexther stared at his primary view screen as the message played. Commander Alina Blackwood's face appeared before him, her expression calm and professional. "This is Commander Alina Blackwood of Earth's Unified Defense Command. Your vessels have been compromised by our defensive systems. Your shields are down, your weapons are ineffective, and your engines are about to lose power. We have achieved this without destroying a single ship or taking a single life. Consider carefully what that means about our true capabilities." The High Admiral watched in horror as his mighty fleet hung helpless in space, surrounded by weapons that his sensors still couldn't properly identify. "How?" he managed to ask. "You're supposed to be primitives, your technology." "Was a carefully crafted illusion," Elena replied. "While you watched our reality shows and laughed at our social media, we were building something you never expected, a defense system designed specifically to counter advanced alien civilizations. You're not the first to find us, Admiral. You're just the first we've allowed to get this close." Throughout the hegemony fleet, crews watched in astonishment as their advanced systems were systematically shut down by technology they couldn't even detect. The nanites had already infiltrated their computer cores, giving Earth complete control over their most basic functions. "The choice is yours, Admiral," Elena continued. "Surrender now, and we can begin diplomatic relations as equals. Continue hostilities, and we will be forced to demonstrate why we've spent the last 50 years preparing for this exact moment." In the Earth Command Center, Dr. Harrison looked up from his console. "All systems performing perfectly, Commander. The quantum net has their entire fleet trapped. They couldn't leave now even if they wanted to." Elena nodded, watching the alien admiral's face as he processed his situation. The hegemony had come expecting to find a primitive species ready for conquest. Instead, they had found humanity, a species that had spent half a century preparing for this very moment, building defenses that looked like weaknesses and weapons that appeared as toys. The galaxy was about to learn a crucial lesson. Sometimes, the most dangerous predator is the one that plays prey. High Admiral Vexther did what any cornered predator would do, he lashed out. "Activate the quantum cascade drives, full power to all emergency systems." In Earth's command center, Dr. Harrison watched the energy readings spike across his displays. "They're attempting to overload their systems, Commander. Looks like they're going for a blind jump." Elena Blackwood remained calm, studying the tactical hologram hovering above the command table. "Let them try. Colonel Diana Wright, you have permission to demonstrate Project Oracle." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility unknown even to most of Earth's governments, Colonel Wright stood before a massive quantum computer array. Her team of specialists had spent years perfecting this technology, and now it was time to show it off. "Initiating Oracle Protocol," Diana announced, her hands dancing across the neural interface. "Calculating all possible quantum trajectories, mapping probability spaces, engaging precognitive matrix." The hegemony ship's desperate attempt at escape was met with something impossible. Their every move was anticipated before they made it. Each emergency protocol they activated found itself countered before it could take effect. It was as if Earth's defenses could see the future. "What is this sorcery?" Vexther demanded, watching his fleet's most sophisticated escape attempts fail before they began. Commander Blackwood's voice came through their comm systems again, calm and almost educational in tone. "We call it quantum precognition, Admiral. Your ships telegraph their intentions through subtle quantum fluctuations. We simply built a system that reads those fluctuations and responds accordingly. You might say we're countering your moves before you make them." In the underwater facility, Colonel Wright monitored the streams of data flowing through the Oracle system. "The quantum entanglement field is holding steady, Commander. Their ships are effectively trapped in a probabilistic maze. Every possible escape route they might take is already blocked." But the hegemony hadn't become a galactic power by giving up easily. Across their fleet, emergency protocols that hadn't been used in centuries activated. Ships began attempting to link their systems, trying to combine their processing power to break through Earth's defenses. Dr. Harrison noticed the attempt immediately. "They're trying to network their ships into a unified system. Clever, they're hopping to overwhelm our quantum predictive capabilities with too many variables." Elena smiled. "Just as we predicted, Major Thomas Rivera, you have the green light for Phase 3. From a hidden base in the asteroid belt, Major Rivera and his team of cyber warfare specialists sprang into action, initiating digital infiltration, deploying the Prometheus protocol. The nanites that had already compromised the hegemony fleet systems suddenly revealed their true purpose. As the alien ships attempted to network together, the microscopic machines created a bridge, not between the ships, but directly into Earth's most sophisticated AI defense system. "Your technology is remarkable, Admiral," Elena explained, as the hegemony's linked systems began to fall under Earth's control. "But we've had decades to study similar systems from other civilizations that found us early. Did you really think you were the first to discover Earth?" In the Antarctic Command Center, a new hologram sprang to life, showing the locations of dozens of crashed alien ships, carefully collected and studied over the years. Each wreck had contributed to humanity's understanding of advanced technology, all while they maintained their facade of primitive development. "Commander," Captain Chen called out, "we're detecting power spikes in their secondary weapons arrays. They're trying to activate their last resort protocols." Elena nodded to Dr. Harrison. "Show them what happens when you try to detonate antimatter weapons in our quantum probability field." The hegemony's attempt to self-destruct their ships rather than be captured met an even stranger defense. The antimatter reactions simply refused to happen. Probability itself seemed to twist around their ships, making it mathematically impossible for their weapons to function. "Quantum uncertainty manipulation," Dr. Harrison explained over the comm channel to the increasingly desperate alien fleet. "We've found ways to bias probability fields in our favor. Your antimatter won't detonate because we've temporarily altered the quantum probability of matter-antimatter interaction in your vicinity to 0. Throughout the hegemony fleet, crews watched in horror as their most basic understanding of physics seemed to break down around them. Weapons wouldn't fire, engines wouldn't engage, and even their artificial gravity began to fluctuate unpredictably. "You see, Admiral," Elena continued, "while your civilization was mastering the practical applications of quantum mechanics, we took a different approach. We learned to break the rules entirely. Your technology is impressive, but it still operates within the bounds of what you consider possible. We decided those bounds were more like guidelines." In the underwater facility, Colonel Wright's team continued to predict and counter every possible move the alien fleet might make. Major Rivera's cyber warfare specialists systematically dismantled the aliens' remaining digital defenses. And Dr. Harrison's quantum manipulation systems ensured that even the laws of physics themselves seemed to conspire against the invaders. The chess game was reaching its endgame, and Earth had been playing with white pieces all along. In the depths of his flagship's command center, High Admiral Vexler made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. "Send the signal," he ordered, his voice heavy with both defeat and revelation. Commander Elena Blackwood was reviewing tactical data when Captain Chen's voice cut through the command center's focused atmosphere. "Commander, we're detecting a new transmission from the hegemony fleet. It's different, not on any standard frequency we've monitored before." Dr. Harrison's quantum detection grid lit up with new data. "They're using some form of advanced communication we haven't seen before. The signal appears to be directed toward the galactic core." Elena's eyes narrowed. "They're calling for reinforcements. Colonel Wright, what does Oracle predict?" The response from the underwater facility was immediate. "Multiple quantum signatures detected, Commander. The probability matrix suggests we're about to have company. A lot of it." Space itself seemed to twist as hundreds of fold space ruptures opened across the solar system. The hegemony hadn't just called for backup. They'd triggered a protocol that hadn't been used in 10,000 years. "The Galactic Conclave," Vexler announced, a note of satisfaction in his voice. "You may have outmaneuvered my fleet, Commander Blackwood, but now you face the combined might of every major civilization in the galaxy." Elena exchanged looks with her command staff. This was the scenario they had prepared for but hoped to avoid. "Dr. Harrison, initiate the Ragnarok protocol. Major Rivera, deploy the solar network. Colonel Wright, expand Oracle's prediction field to maximum coverage." Across the solar system, humanity's final layer of defenses began to activate. The sun itself flickered as massive energy collection arrays, hidden beneath its chromosphere, powered up. Quantum entanglement fields expanded to encompass the entire solar system. "You don't understand what you're facing," Vexter warned as the first conclave ships began to arrive. "These are the most advanced vessels ever created, representing technologies developed over millions of years." "No, Admiral," Elena replied, watching as her tactical display filled with thousands of new contacts. "You don't understand what you're facing. We didn't just prepare for your invasion, we prepared for everyone's." The Conclave fleet was a sight that would have terrorized any other civilization. Ships the size of small moons, wielding weapons that could destroy planets, commanded by beings who had mastered the fundamental forces of the universe. They arrived ready to put down what they assumed would be a minor threat. Instead, they found themselves trapped the moment they entered the solar system. "Quantum lock established," Dr. Harrison reported. "The sun's magnetic field has been successfully weaponized. Dyson's swarm is online and responding." What looked like solar flares began reaching out across space, but these were no natural phenomena. Humanity had turned their star into the ultimate defense system, using its magnetic field as a vast quantum computer and its plasma as a weapon. Major Rivera's voice came through from the asteroid belt. "Solar network is active, beginning systematic takeover of conclave ship systems. Their quantum encryption is impressive, but our viral AI is already adapting." The conclave ships, for all their advanced technology, found themselves facing something unprecedented. Their weapons, designed to manipulate the fundamental forces of physics, encountered spaces where those forces simply didn't work the way they should. Their computers, quantum encrypted and supposedly unhackable, faced artificial intelligences that evolved faster than they could respond. "Colonel Wright," Elena called, "status of the Oracle predictions." "The quantum precognition matrix is holding steady," Diana reported. "We're successfully predicting and countering 99.9% of their tactical options before they can implement them." From his flagship, Vexter watched in astonishment as the most powerful fleet ever assembled was systematically neutralized by defenses that shouldn't have been possible. "How?" he demanded. "How did you develop all of this in secret?" Elena's response was transmitted across all frequencies, to every ship in the combined fleet. "Because you all made the same mistake, Admiral. You looked at our entertainment, our social media, our apparent conflicts and divisions, and saw exactly what we wanted you to see, a primitive species too busy arguing among themselves to be a threat." The tactical display showed the reality. Each conclave ship found itself caught in a web of quantum manipulations, their advanced weapons rendered useless by probability fields that defied understanding. The sun itself seemed to reach out with tendrils of plasma, controlled with impossible precision. "But while you watched our surface behavior," Elena continued, "we were building something unprecedented. We took every piece of advanced technology we could salvage, every theory we could develop, and created defenses that broke the rules you all took for granted. We didn't just prepare for war, Admiral. We prepared to rewrite the laws of physics themselves." Across the solar system, humanity's true technological face was finally revealed. The facade of a primitive civilization fell away, showing what 50 years of hidden development, unlimited creativity, and the determination to never be vulnerable had created. The Grand Archon of the Galactic Conclave appeared as a hologram in Earth's command center, its energy form shimmering with colors humans had no names for. Behind Commander Elena Blackwood, screens showed the combined fleet, the mightiest armada ever assembled, hanging powerless in space, caught in humanity's web of impossible technologies. "In 10 million years of galactic history," the Archon's translated voice resonated, "no species has ever achieved what you have demonstrated today. We must understand, why maintain this deception? Why hide your true capabilities?" Elena gestured to Dr. Harrison, who projected a new hologram, a timeline of Earth's secret history. "Because we learned early on that the galaxy wasn't ready for us," she explained. The first friendly contact we made in 1947 warned us about the hegemony, about the conclave, about how the galaxy treats younger species. In his captured flagship, High Admiral Vexler watched the presentation with all four eyes wide. The hologram showed crashed ships, secret installations, and decades of hidden advancement. The Zeta Reticulan crash, he breathed. The Proxima incident, the dark side anomalies, those weren't accidents or mysteries. They were tests, Major Rivera confirmed from his asteroid base. Controlled releases of information, breadcrumbs we left to see how the galactic community would react, and each time you proved our caution justified. Colonel Wright's voice added from her underwater command, "Every probe you sent, every scout ship that sneaked past our defenses, we were watching, learning, adapting. The Oracle system cataloged your responses and helped us perfect our masquerade." The Grand Archon's form flickered with what might have been admiration. "You turned our own curiosity against us, used our assumptions about primitive species as a shield. Brilliant and terrifying." "We had to," Alina stated firmly. "Your civilizations have protocols for everything, how species should develop, when they should achieve spaceflight, what technologies they should discover in what order. We saw how you guided other young civilizations, directing their development to fit your expectations." Dr. Harrison pulled up another display, showing the quantum probability fields still holding the fleet immobile. "Humanity doesn't do well with external constraints. We needed freedom to develop on our own terms, even if we had to hide that development from the entire galaxy." Throughout the captured fleet, crews watched in amazement as Earth's orbital defense platforms revealed their true forms. What had appeared to be primitive satellites transformed into advanced weapon systems. The space junk clouding Earth's orbit assembled into massive defense platforms. "An entire defensive network hidden in plain sight," Vexler marveled. "Every piece of debris we ignored was part of your plan." "Humanity's greatest talent," Alina smiled, "is our ability to innovate in unexpected ways. We took your most advanced technologies and asked questions you never thought to ask. Why follow the rules of physics when you can change them? Why fight probability when you can manipulate it?" The Grand Archon's form pulsed with new colors. "What are your intentions now? With these capabilities, you could dominate the galaxy." Alina's expression softened. "That was never our goal. We didn't develop these defenses to conquer, we built them to ensure our independence. To guarantee that humanity could develop freely, without being forced into the galaxy's predetermined paths." She gestured, and the quantum fields holding the fleet began to shift. "We're releasing your ships, but with a message. Earth is not a primitive world to be conquered or uplifted. We are not a species to be guided or controlled. We are humanity, and we choose our own path." Across the solar system, the impossible defenses began powering down. The sun's weaponized plasma returned to normal solar activity. The quantum probability fields dissipated. But the message was clear: these systems could be reactivated at any moment. "The galaxy is changing," Alina continued. "The old hierarchies, the rigid protocols about how species should develop, they need to change too. We're willing to join the galactic community, but as equals, not as subjects, not as students, as partners." The Grand Archon was silent for a long moment before responding. "You understand that nothing will be the same after this. The revelation of your true capabilities will shake the foundations of galactic society." "Good," Alina replied. "Perhaps it's time for those foundations to be shaken. Perhaps it's time for the galaxy to learn what humanity has always known. The most powerful force in the universe isn't technology or physics or even knowledge. It's the freedom to choose your own destiny." As the alien fleet prepared to depart, Dr. Harrison approached Alina. "Do you think they'll accept us on our terms?" Commander Blackwood watched the ships disappearing into fold space, returning to a galaxy that would never be the same. "They don't have a choice. We've shown them something they've never seen before, a species that refused to follow their rules and grew stronger because of it. The age of predetermined development is over. The age of true freedom is about to begin." In the depths of space, the combined fleet of the galaxy's mightiest civilizations retreated from a single solar system, carrying with them a message that would echo through the cosmos. Humanity had arrived, and they had done it their way.